you know, it might have at first been a cool experience to relive the memories on a Blizzard server, but this stuff is disgusting. I mean, people using our. I'm tired of people in companies using our childhood memories for just a quick buck. I'm just tired of it. I'm really tired of it. I personally, like a lot of you guys, fought for years and years and years to get this accomplished, and this is what we got.
All right, hey, how's it going? It's Phil with How to FF6, here to walk you through another doozy. Okay. I've just been doing some digging here on this whole situation that we find ourselves in the Ultima Online community. Somebody brings up, a good point about another community, the WoW hardcore community, something that happened there. In fact, you know, basically, this is Alex Central's video. And what he does with this video is he exposes a scam. It's basically this classic WoW hardcore server is the scam because of it's just enclosure, right? So the theme here between what's going on with Macro Planet on the subreddit, uh Macro Planet also a subreddit moderator of the classic WoW community on our classic WoW, which is this community right here where the scam was going on. And he actually became a moderator on that community at the same time that this video was coming out, right? So this is by Alex Central. You should definitely, the link is in the description, definitely watch that. But I'll short form what was going on for you. So, and this video is basically going to tie that to Outlands and what's going on with Outlands and Macro Planet and what's going on with Macro Planet. The general theme here, and a lot of the players are the same. We're gonna identify who the players are, and what's going on. So definitely watch the whole video. Stay tuned for the whole video, and check this out. So here, enclosure of the commons. Now this is basically enclosure is a term used in English land ownership that refers to the appropriation of common land, enclosing it, and by doing so, depriving commoners of their rights and access and privilege. Right. So that's you can see how that a good example of that might be, and I don't play World of Warcraft, but a good example of that might be somebody told me that Blizzard canceled all the private servers, and this classic WoW hardcore server is their free server basically, or their private server. I wouldn't say free server. Maybe it was free. I don't really know, but it's their own version of a classic server, which is what the private servers were emulating. And I guess there was ties in Blizzard and this Rested XP add-on. Policy is normally that you're not supposed to be selling stuff for real life money or something on these add-ons or something. I guess it's a bit of a gray area, maybe. I don't really know yet again, but here's what they're doing with Rested XP. They're basically selling cheats information that to cheats that used to work in Classic. These are cheats that would have got you banned in the Classic era. So, it's you can't really say it's hardcore or Classic or whatever. Maybe definitions aren't lining up right. So these players who came for Classic gameplay are being disenfranchised because they're not actually getting the classic that WoW hardcore and Rested XP or whatnot, these people that are involved promised, right? And that's where it becomes a scam, right? So enclosure is a scam because it disenfranchises the people who are being marketed to with false advertising, basically. And this is what I've been going up against in the Ultima Online community. False advertising, saying that you're Feluca rule set when you're not, saying that you're classic when you're not, and disenfranchising people that you've been advertising to falsely, right? Some of you may remember that I'm Evil Manfred from Siege Perilous by Adamant. Made this advertisement or whatnot. This is the one that Macro Planet pinned because he played the server. He's the subreddit mod, and he pinned this ad. It's a really nice ad. Burke did the logo. Really nice job on that. And you know, I just have to say, like, Adam was basically saying that we were building Classic, right? So I was helping him with that. I built the website, I built the wiki. And then a month before launch, he changes the rule set basically to custom because he takes out classic factions and he adds custom factions. And so now it's a custom faction based server. So it's a custom server now, right? That's just basically how that worked out. He didn't really talk to staff beforehand, or he was going to do it either way. Like, he's like, sometimes you need to make these calls, right? And I gave him the benefit of the doubt because I thought at least if you remove, he was telling me that he wanted to remove classic factions because he didn't like town control. Town control is like a big system that you kind of need to research how to play if you're going to use it, right? You have to do some pre-reading, right? And he didn't want to have that. On its own, I can accept that for removing, classic factions for that. Maybe a couple other things out of and then just still having regular factions without town control or something. Then at that point it doesn't really make sense because it seems like our market is a bunch of orcs. But it seems that way maybe. Who can say for sure? I would just say like he changed the rule set. He changed it from classic to custom 1 month before launch with no real regard for how its staff would feel. And it's not right. So I was critical of that. I also left the team. And I didn't like the fact that Macro pinned that over other advertisements sub, like, because he plays there and it just, those optics, it's like, how do you not see that? I think it's just because he feels like he owns the place, and he really does, and he just feels like it's his community now. He owns it. That's what he feels like. He can just do whatever he wants, right? But it's wrong. He can't. there's code of conduct violations, which I really outlined a lot of the last video. Been lots more since the video came, and we're gonna talk about those. We're gonna talk about how this Rested XP is linked to Outlands. There's people involved. And we're going to talk about how Macro Planet is linked to both communities. I think the facts are going to speak for themselves in this video, and I'm going to try to let them speak for themselves. I'm just going to show you what the facts are, and you can make your own decision. Basically, okay, so what I'm going to do in this, how I'm going to do this is, there's been people that are asking me about who I am, what my relationship is with Macro Planet, if anything. He's saying that this is all about the ban. This is all because he banned me, right? From the subreddit, right? That's the only problem here, and I'm just a troll. That's basically what he's been saying. So let's go through and we'll look at my history on the sub. Okay, so this is my history on Reddit. This is my history of threads that I've created. And you can see at the bottom here, basically this is 8 months ago. So in January of 2023, I came to Reddit, made an account, how to FF6. And I shared some videos of ways that you can get special characters early or bring them to maps that you aren't normally able to bring them to. For Final Fantasy 3 SNES, 6 SFAM. And basically I posted this video because people were being fed misinformation about how you could bring Umaro back to the world of balance, right, on a console. So growing up as a kid, in the 90s and whatnot, every once in a while somebody would have a special character on a map that you're not normally able to have them on or get them on. And I wanted to make these videos because people were giving out misinformation about how to get some of these special characters, which included like ridiculous things like you have to feed Umaro 1,000,000 green cherries, let's just say. And then in your next game, he'll appear in your team in the world of balance, or you'll be able to get him. Right? Like, it's a lie, and it just is going to waste somebody's time, right? So I figured I better figure it out. And so I went and reverse engineered this game. It was so ridiculous, but I figured out how to actually bring him back. But in order to do Umaro and bring him to the actual world of balance, there's ways to bring him to another world of balance, but it's not the real thing. I had to use the sketch bug to do it. The sketch bug can kind of it can destroy your Super Nintendo. It's really bad. You have to be really careful with it. And so, I detailed the exact way to do it, but I'm also saying don't do it if you don't know what you're doing. You can do it this way without hurting your console. You can get Umaro and use the sketch bug, and you're fine. But some things you can do with sketch, like some other things that you can do with it, like if you use sketch doing something else, it could break your console. It's very finicky, and so it's really not recommended, right? When I posted that, even though I'm posting it to show people the actual way to do it, so they don't go and waste their time, right? To protect them from this misinformation, I still got downvoted into oblivion because of the sketch bug, right? But you can see there's other things I did, like I brought Ban into the World of Ruin. I don't think anyone's ever done that before, actually. People have brought Leo back to the World of Ruin. They brought Leo to the World of Ruin, but I've never seen anyone bring Ban in, and so I figured out how to do it, and I shared that video to a lot of likes, right? Lots of good positive feedback, lots of likes, lots of upvotes. I just wanted to explain why that one was 0. I didn't want it to look like I'm a troll because I'm being, defamed as a troll, right? And that this is just about the ban. So I'm just defending myself here. So let's look at my history, right? I got lots of upvotes, but then I got all these other zeros at the top here. What are these? Oh, these are my posts in Ultima Online. So what's going on with Ultima Online? Oh, and this top one is request Reddit. I only got like 1 downvote. These other ones got downvoted like crazy, and like by tons of people that shouldn't even really care about any of this. I'm just asking for better moderation, right? So here's my history. So 6 months ago, I was last seen on Reddit at the time, and posting in Final Fantasies. And then I canceled the How to FF6 project in favor of Siege Perilous. So I wasn't really on Reddit at all. And then 2 months ago, I actually was on Reddit and looking at Ultima Online, and I noticed this do's and don'ts post by Macro Planet. So that's the first time I posted anything. He basically was saying, here's the do's and don'ts, right? He gives some examples here of what you can say and what not to say. He says that the reason that this post is created, this is the perfect time to brush up on some of the rules because when things get spicy around, right? So he's giving an example of what you can say about when you're being critical, and what you can't say when you're being critical, right? So he's outlining, he's defining criticism and how things work on the sub. And his example is a player has a beef with the shard admin because they had a house placed in an illegal zone, right? Very subjective topic, but in this case, the shard admin moved the house because it was obstructing a road that players use to travel. The player feels like it should have been grandfathered in, and the shard admin was trying to keep the game running smoothly for others. No one's in the wrong, he said. Well, actually, players shouldn't be able, you should be coding that out if that's an illegal zone. You can just code that out. They can't place the house there. There's some onus there on staff, right? And this is why, there's nothing holding them to account because it's just software on their server and they can do whatever they want, and they really can. However, and this is why we need good moderation policy. But however, in this case, the shard admin just comes right up, moves the house, doesn't even give him a warning or talk to him at all, right? Okay, kind of a dick move. You can at least talk to him and say, hey, what's going on? It could be a brand new player that doesn't really know it's an illegal zone at all or anything at all. And, you could have just ruined their experience. Now, that's a new player, but that doesn't mean that they don't already have a significant investment because a lot of times they can pay to win, right? So these are people that could be brand new players. It could be a brand new player, paid hundreds of dollars just for items to sell for poker money or whatever's going on these servers, right? That's how it worked on Hybrid, right? And basically, so I'm trying to protect these players, basically. So here's what Macro is saying is okay to say. He says it's okay to say as part of your criticism, it would be nice if players could get a warning before action like this is taken, right? They approach me like I'm a human being, treat me right, right? And Macro's saying it's okay to say that. That's funny. Make a note of that because it's kind of funny. It's very hypocritical what he does later. But uh, now here's what's not okay. The shard owner is a complete asshole and destroyed my experience on their shard, right? This is a complete asshole. The guy didn't, he just moved the house. He didn't come up and say, hey, give him a warning or anything like that. That the house would be moved or anything. Or maybe he just deleted the house. He can do anything he wants, right? But you're not allowed to say he's an asshole on the sub, right? Which is like, obviously that if a GM is abusing people, he's not going to let you call him an asshole on the Discord. That's why the subreddit exists. So that people can come to the subreddit and be like, hey, I'm not saying they should be able to be super negative. I'm saying they should be allowed to call someone an asshole on the sub. And here's Macro saying, you're not allowed to do that. So this caught my attention. And I noticed that somebody posted on here, the REM, that, kind of lost me in toxic behavior. Creating vague rules like this is wrong. Don't moderate subjectively. And the REM is completely right. The moderator code of conduct says specifically that the moderators are tasked with creating clear rules for people to follow and then enforcing those clear rules. And that's it, right? And you know, uh it's just funny because I also agreed with that. I came and I agreed with that, and I said, I get that this is kind of the front page for the game because it allows for both unofficial and official communities to come together. And I don't think he liked that. I really just don't think I think that's what he didn't like. Because he blew up at me officially. Came at me speaking officially. Like, I don't know if this is a warning or if this is a threat or what this is. But look at what he's saying. He's just saying we need to address an issue that has been causing disarray within our community. And it's harassment going on. And it's being allowed by Macroplanet whenever it suits him, right? And that's why it's going on. So it's really hilarious that he says it's very blatant, which is kind of a manipulation tactic. But I'm going to show you more examples of that, so make a note of that. But he blows up at me. This is my first time posting on the sub. I just got a message when I posted this that said, "Hey, welcome to our Ultima Online official" by his bot, right? And this is how he's coming straight at me now because he doesn't like this part where I said, I get this is kind of the front page for the game because it allows for official and unofficial communities, which is something he was trying to cancel. And I'll show you that. But, he's basically saying, when we allow all these comments, regardless of whether or not it goes against our rules, right? This is where he broke the code of conduct, right? Moderator. Because he's saying, regardless of whether it goes against the rules, I'm going to delete these posts and these people and causing this disarray or whatever, which is really victim blaming. That as well. He's saying, regardless of whether it goes against the rules, there's false information and baseless conjectures start to surface. We've deleted several of these types of posts because they were absolutely absurd. He's characterizing it as false information, harmful, and possibly illegal, right? Let me make it clear that we fully support freedom of speech. This is gaslighting. And we've been doing an exceptional job in upholding that value. This was a red flag for me. We understand that people have a right to express their concerns. However, we will not tolerate personal attacks. Well, I mean, saying he's an asshole, and I'm saying he could have spent hundreds of dollars already at this point. That's kind of the subreddit, should be allowing the word asshole once. Was my point, right? That's it. The moderators, UO players, we're volunteers, so and he throws this in there, and I didn't even say anything about anything. He's like, it is absurd and obnoxious to suggest that we are being paid to remove posts because a shard owner doesn't like what was said. Right? I never said that I never said anything about that. I said I have to agree with this. It's supposed to be a safe place for people to come and. Oh, did this guy say something like that? Oh, need another mod being anti-criticism of free shards again. Let us be a free discussion. I don't think he's even saying that there's anything going on there either. So I don't know why he said that, but it's just kind of funny because uh, it's absurd and obnoxious, and it's also absurd, absolutely absurd stuff that he's getting rid of, right? That's what he's saying, anyways. Later on, he made a new rule that said, "Oh, now you're allowed to criticize free shards and officially, and yeah, and but it's saying comments. Now he's saying in this comments will no longer be removed solely based on reports of negative feedback about a shard. Okay, negative feedback equals criticism. That's what it is, right? So you can say any criticism at all is negative and just remove it. Right? That's your logic, right? But this is what they were doing. They admitted it. Like, it's blatant too, right? Blatant again. Comments will no longer be removed solely based on reports of negative feedback about a shard, right? Okay. So, anyways, that was my first post on our Ultima Online. So for people who were like, I'm looking up Macro Planet, I'm a stalker or something, he just basically said, at one point we seriously considered prohibiting any discussion about personal or free shards. And he says, this is another mod code of conduct violation. Many other official game subreddits do not allow such discussions. Other official game subreddits are official. This one's not official. And it's a rule violation to say that or imply that you're an official community when you're not. Right? So I thought that was interesting. I reported both of these violations of the mod code of conduct, and that's why these rules were changed. But it was later on that they were changed. I basically had said this, and then he said that. He was like, however, or at one point we seriously considered prohibiting any discussion about personal or free shards, right? So I did some digging, and I went and I looked at this guy's history to see, why he would say something like that. And he's got a huge history of shameless advertising for official servers, right? He plays there. That's what I found out. And so this is something he said 3 years ago. He became a moderator 8 months ago, I think around January or something. Became a moderator of our Ultima Online. And, it basically says, probably an unpopular opinion here that will get downvoted. But whatever. I wish our Ultima Online would only be about official shards. It would be nice if the mods could enforce that. So he knows this is an unpopular thing. He knows free shards have helped build the subreddit into what it is today. And he just wants to take it over and enclose on that our subreddit, which is our land, our space, to come and, gripe about, if a shard owner is an asshole or it's a scam or whatever. It's our place to talk about it, right? And he wants to enclose that out so that, I don't know, you tell me, right? Why is he doing that exactly? Is it just because he plays? And it could be. And that it only needs to be that. He plays official, and New Legacy is kind of designed to take players out of the free shard economy, kind of like a funnel. So the big end is in the free shard market, and every year it wipes, right? And they're being completely upfront about this, right? It's not false advertising at all. I repeat, New Legacy is not falsely advertising themselves as classic. They have said, and I know this because of reading through Macro Planet's post history, that apparently New Legacy said that they're not going to make classic macro because they can't make it. They don't have the source code. They're not capable of it. So they're not even going to say that they're classic. That's not what they're going to do with New Legacy at all. That's not what I'm saying. However, what I am saying is that, it looks bad that Macro Planet, this official player, he wants to cancel all the free shard talk so that when players who return to Ultima Online, as they do, trickling back every once in a while to check on the game and play the game they loved as a child, he wants them to only see New Legacy so that, they might not have read that the shard wipes every year, and at that point, you can save your character by moving it to official shards only, right? So it's kind of Enclosure only if Macro Planet cancels free shard talk, right? This is why I was like, do you work for Broadsword or something? Because, what's the deal here, right? So I looked back and I found out that he's a player. Whether or not he works for Broadsword, I can't say, but I do know that, he's a player on official. He's been paying to play there. That's his own admission in his post history. He's been paying to play on official. And he wants you to only hear about new legacy if you're just returning, right? Makes sense, right? Even if he's just doing it to help himself, right? That's what I'm saying, right? This is somebody who's just using the mod role to help themselves over and over. It really reeks with all the connections between RX Media, RXP Media from WoW Hardcore, and I'll show you who the players are. But let's go back through this now. I still need to show you about what's been going on with the macro plan a bit further. So, however, no one knows how long these free shards can hang around for, he was saying 3 years ago, right? Around the same time, I guess New Legacy, was coming out, or I think they first advertised about 3 years ago. We get an announcement every 6 to 8 months or something. And here's Macro saying, Outlands is fresh right now. I agree. It's even a beautiful built world, but to say it'll outlast the official game, well, we'll see about that. That's another 3 years ago for Macro Planet. His account is 9 years old, but he only has history starting 3 years ago. Whether or not he scrubbed 6 years or he just lurked, I can't say that either, right? But that's just something to point out, right? That's one of the facts. So it's, something to consider, right? And then again, this is the post where he came at me and told me that at one point we seriously consider prohibiting these shards. Right. Right. So, hold on. Right. So a little adjusting here. Alrighty. Good enough. Okay. Yeah. Next up. So I did that digging, and then I came back to the Reddit. Combating toxicity. Yeah. Okay, so I posted this post after I read all that about macro and started to figure some things out, and I just came and I said basically what Macro Planet said we can do in the do's or don't post. He said I could do this. He said I could say it would also be beneficial to the community if moderators of shards, free shards, official shards, even the current moderators of this subreddit, everybody in the community would follow some specific ethical standards, such as which would include professional notification of a reason for why any content is removed or any other action is taken, especially for bans, right? And Macro Planet banned me. He said I could do that, but then he said this isn't the reason why he banned me. But okay, I just asked for professional notification, and he's doing it in public, which is unprofessional. Right? He's saying that this post in its original form was absolutely okay. You're free to speak your mind about this game. Community and I don't know why he's saying post in its original form. It was not edited. But this post in its original form was absolutely okay. It's unedited. I don't know why he said that. You're free to speak your mind about the game, the community, subreddit. However, this user has gone too far, dragging people in this community down and essentially bullying people for weeks now, he says. I never got a warning. He never reached out to me to say, hey, you're being too negative. There's no rule violations here. It's just gray area negativity. And I got no warnings. I got a permanent ban. He did it in public. I think he's been taking this really personally. It seemed like at first that he was taking things personally, but now I think something else is going on behind it. So I made this video. It just says, we appreciate you all. Like, this is so professional. We appreciate you all. This user has been banned from the community. Okay? This is why he's saying that I only care about the ban, right? Maybe he did all, he's trolling me now using the moderator role because this is unprofessional. I just asked for it to be professional. It's something he said I could do specifically, but he's banning me for it basically. And he's also saying, I've been dragging people down for weeks, but he never gave me any warnings, and it's a permanent ban. And he knows that I've been helpful in the community. I've been helping to build shards and stuff like that. So it's trolling, right? And it's not right. It's actually he's front running harassment against me because that I'm getting harassed in here. I can't even defend myself. And he front ran it by, basically banning me and just that's it. With no rule violations, right? So, of course, at the time, uh, I reported to the Reddit admins that those two rule violations from the moderator's code of conduct. I never got unbanned, but new rules were made in the sub, which could be indicative of the admin stepping in and saying you have to change these rules. Criticism is allowed. That's it. Right. The rule he comes up with is you're not allowed to official, I guess, because it's free shard criticism is allowed. It's saying. And only for shards that advertise in the sub, right? Talk about bias, right? But I made this petition after I seen this. I did some more digging, and then I made that petition. Made that petition about Macroplanet, about removing these mods and having new mods come in and make new rules that are clear to follow for everybody, right? And Macroplanet, he didn't like that, so he got change.org, where I made the petition. He got them to take down the word Macroplanet as if it's personal information, right? Okay, the only thing I'm criticizing this guy for in the petition, originally the petition didn't even say a Macroplanet. It just says that I'm trying to get new mods, right? So now I need to show the facts about what the mods have been doing, right? And after I made this petition, the day after I made this petition, Macroplanet, so 5 days ago I made the petition. 4 days ago, Macroplanet makes his own petition, right? Because he saw my petition, obviously. And he's still trolling me using the moderator role. This was originally posted as a speaking officially, right? So if he's speaking officially, it's his Reddit handle is Macroplanet, but yet he doesn't want that out there, right? He doesn't think it's appropriate to say Macroplanet did this on the internet, even though he's a subreddit moderator, so he's a public official in a way that he's speaking officially, and without being able to scrutinize him, there's no transparency. It calls into question whether or not there's transparency or accountability, right? Which every community needs, right? But anyways, I criticized his petition, basically. I went and updated my petition to say that he posted this petition, and basically what he's doing is he's inciting some anger against Broadsword, the dev team. If the current team of developers is no longer interested in developing for Ultima Online, we ask that new ones be brought in that are more dedicated, right? He's basically asking for new devs, just the same way I'm asking for new mods. He's saying that they're abusing the community because they didn't give an update. Yet they've been consistently giving updates every 6 to 8 months. They're still on track for that. There's not a lot of content in their update. They did do an update because he was inciting anger against them, and he's letting them say their names. Look at this. Somebody says, "You want to get a better game? Get Masana off and her cult of simps." Totally allowed by Macroplanet. Yet when it came to my petition, we had to take Macroplanet's name down. They did it for me or whatever. But I have that. I have an image of what it looks like in here. Hold on. Oh yeah, Macro Redacto. I love my file names. Redacted responds to this petition by harassing UO developers using mod role. Right. Redacted has decided to, in response to this damning petition, Redacted Macroplanet. Macro Redacto has decided to use their mod privileges and make a petition of their own. Coincidence? In order to harass the game devs, right? So he's saying, when I'm like, we need new mods, he gets his name taken down, from whatever, it doesn't even matter. But now he's letting Masana get ripped on. 24 votes. There's a lot of crazy amounts of votes for things that, you wouldn't think that anybody would care about. Like, I'm asking for, reasons for bans, and I get downvoted by, at least 85 people. The moderator locks the post and says, "You didn't do anything wrong, but I'm banning you, and it's not related to this. We appreciate you all." It's trolling, right? So I'm just saying, it's funny that, Change is telling me that, they're not, they don't have to, that it goes against their guidelines. It actually doesn't, because it's not personal information. anyways, they still removed it, and it looks like they got harassed basically to ban me or to take down the petition, right, by a bunch of different people, probably the people in the community that have been harassing the shit out of me, like Ghost. He also wanted he found out I was in a free shard Discord showing off the pictures that he wants to cancel free shards, and so he came to the channel. Uh, and there's others that they came to the channel and they've just attacked me, right? This is one of them. They post food pictures to silence me. This is what they do if they don't control the mod position, right? If they don't control all of the Discord, the Reddit, all the speech, they can't cancel you from saying this isn't hardcore on WoW Hardcore, or this isn't UO on Outlands, or this isn't Feluca rule set, or this isn't official Adamant, right? Without getting banned, right? They can't if they can't moderate you, if they're not the moderator that can just silence you for your negative feedback, which is what they're doing on the sub, admittedly, then they just harass you. They post food pictures to make it so that you can't talk and inform anybody about what's going on. Are you high right now? Blah blah blah. Like, he's in there harassing me, and it's obsessive and a bit scary. Like, I can get you an hour with a free therapist, right? Poking fun at, calling me mentally ill, calling me a drug addict, calling me maybe I drink or something, right? If you give them anything, they will just attack you on it, based on it, right? And going on. Basically, Macro Planet is in that channel. He comes to the channel and he wants to silence me. So he's like, not sure how you guys can get that guy to stop, right? Sorry, you have to be subject to their antics after they were banned from RUO, right? He's trying to say this is all about the ban. Real talk, they have a mental problem. This guy's attacking me. Ghost doesn't care. He's like, hope so too. He's not like, hey, you shouldn't say he has a mental problem or anything like that. You shouldn't be that toxic element that I'm trying to deal with in the community. No, this is a critic of mine. Say he has a mental problem. It's concerning how far this will go. Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, now that I have ties between Classic and Classic WoW and Outlands, and it looks sketchy. Some sketchy activity that's going on between the people that are from RXP Media staff in Outlands channel. We'll get into all that though. They're just a troll. That's it, right? So he's there calling for me to be banned. And there's other people that are harassing me, and he's part of this group. That's he doesn't care. He's not saying anything about it, right? He's there joining these people that have all been just shouting for me to be banned, forever daring to talk about the Feluca players that are getting disenfranchised from Feluca territory, which is like DFI, which is Feluca first. Free shards in general, our subreddit, where we've grown that subreddit with our unofficial content for years now, 14 years. And this guy thinks he's just going to come in and cancel it, right? Like, it just depends. Are the Reddit admins going to stop these Enclosure scams, or are they supporting them? That's really what it is. And I'm going to make this as clear as I can. I'm gonna clarify how it's all been working. This is Rube. This one, ban him, ban him, ban him. She even left the channel because I didn't get banned. It looks like. And that's part of the thing. I think this Rube, it's very strange. This Rube posted a lot of food pictures, and that Vast Flam guy, he's posting a lot of food pictures. Anyways, and then you got the subreddit mod engaging in harassment. This whole post is just he's harassing the game devs just purely for an announcement, trying to look like a hero, but he's using the mod role to do it. Maybe he thinks that his name Macroplanet should have got removed because he wasn't speaking officially. However, I've already got a screenshot of him speaking officially on there. The Reddit admins are going to know that he was speaking officially, right? So I don't see why, it's just a blatant lie, right? It's just a blatant lie. That's why I'm saying that it's a manipulation tactic to have it just be so blatant, right? To be lying so blatant. And that's what they've been doing. Like, they banned me blatantly in public, blatant trolling, right? And then he's just saying, "Oh, it's just about the ban." This is you can watch this video to show what happened to Alex Sensual when he blew the lid on when he blew the lid. This is him talking about
Next thing here,
and defamation.
these guys are going out of their way to censor this video. It would be a it would be a shame if you guys continued to share this video that is being censored. It would be.
Okay, I just want to point out that's classic WoW right there. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderator of our classic WoW. Could be Macroplanet that removed it because he joined that sub as a moderator around that time. So pay attention to that.
An absolute shame. But World of Warcraft subreddit, the original one, deleted it. And not only that, the WoW Classic subreddit deleted it. The WoW Classic one was up for, a decent amount of time, hours, but it was eventually deleted. Probably Agrand hit up the mods and told them to delete it. But the video had like 200 likes. It had like hundreds and hundreds of comments, and it was like #2 on the Reddit, and that didn't last long either. So they are actively trying to censor that, and they're actively deleting and banning anybody mentioning the video in certain Discords as well. So keep that in mind if you post it, especially in certain Discords. They don't want people to see that. Okay. Another thing I need to address here real quick, because this goes into another can of worms, my defamation of character. So a lot of these guys are like just posting the craziest shit. I woke up today seeing this one particularly was just fucking insane. Oh my god. But so this goes into another point though, is that I just want to say, you're not going to cancel me for anything. Good luck. And I will be one of those people that I'm not going to apologize for anything I do or anything I've said in the past. Also, some of the juicy clips of me have context to them that it's not even worth addressing, because these guys will never listen to reason or be swayed of any reasoning. It's Alex sensual bad at this point. I trash the game. I have an opinion different than these guys. It's just going to be straight up Alex sensual bad. Alex sensual did this. Alex sensual bad guy. Alex sensual racist. Alex sensual Nazi. That's all they're going to do from this point forward. Alex.
Okay, so basically what's going on here is, they're wherever they're a moderator, they can censor it. That's what they're going to do. Like Macroplanet or whoever is the mod on that sub, removing that that guy's video, right? Alex Sensual's video. Right? With all those likes and everything, and they just remove it, right? Like, okay, yeah, this isn't what the community wants to see, right? Like, okay. And so that's what they do if they're moderators. If they can't moderate, they defame. So they start calling you neo-Nazi, Alex Sensual bad. I've gotten a huge taste of this in Ultima Online community lately. And that's obvious. Like, everyone can see that, right? Yet, the handful of people that are stalking the channels, outright stalking the channels, just to silence criticism, that's what they're there for. And I'm going to show you all about that. And obviously, I think RXP Media probably had people on payroll doing it. I'm going to show you who they are, too. Right, so we've established the censorship is to cover up the Enclosure scam. And then they're front running the harassment, right? They're allowing harassment to silence you. And especially they're harassing you and calling for your ban and harassing moderators anywhere that they don't moderate, just to get rid of you, right? And so that's like, that's like change taking Macroplanet's name off just to shut them up, basically. And I get it too. So I'm not hard on them or anything. It's like, I understand. But it doesn't go against your policy, right? You shouldn't cater to it. I asked them, like, specifically, how is it personal information? They just wouldn't say anything. And that's exactly what Macroplanet, that's how he moderates. That's how the mod team of our Ultima Online is choosing to go. They're doing the same thing. They I'm skipping ahead here, but yeah, let's. This is some of the the toxic harassment that so.
And this is just a bonus clip. This person shares the same avatar as someone in the RXP media staff, as you'll see here. This person goes by Tsona Medic. Same exact avatar as Gabby, goes by Gabby Ghoulish, says, Alex Central is an avowed racist. He makes videos doxing people for perceived transgressions. His community stalks and harasses them. They are not worth respect or having in the Discord. This is the quote, why don't we reason with the fascists? Of which Alex is one in real time. I mean, seeing these is one thing, but reading them out loud is just
Right. Okay, so this is Gabby Ghoul, RXP media staff. Alex Central is an avowed racist. He makes videos doxing people for perceived transgressions. Okay, lawyer. His community stalks and harasses them. They are not worth respect or having in the Discord. This is why we don't ban fascists in real time or whatever, right? Stalks and harasses them. That's what he's saying. His digging of this, enclosure scam is harassment and stalking. It's perceived transgression, right? Like, it's enclosure. It's an enclosure scam. People are being disenfranchised from hardcore. They're not being allowed to say this isn't hardcore. Anytime they say this isn't hardcore enough or this isn't what I was expecting, I feel like this is false advertising. They're getting harassed like this, and that's what's going on. And who are the people doing this, right? Who are they? Well, oh, look who it is. Gabby Ghouls in Outland Discord. Did she post here a lot? She actually replied to Carmen when Carmen came and posted the petition in Outland. Hello? Right? So that's in that history, right? Let's check out Gabby Ghoul. Let's see. Let's do a little digging here. All right. Oh, there she is. Oh, this is mentioned Gabby Ghoul. Sorry, that's not what I meant to do. From Gabby Ghoul. 98,000 results. 98,000. Pay attention to that number. When's her first post on Outlands? 2021. My first night here on Outlands. Okay, so she just came 2 years ago and has 100,000 posts in the channel. It's crazy. That's inhuman, you could say. Inhuman. Right? I'm looking at this and being like, how many posts how many posts is that per day? Just one sec here. Sorry about that. I had a phone call there. So basically, this is Gabby Ghouls in Outlands. We know she's RXP media staff. She has an inhuman number of posts in here. There is like food posts, days worth of food posts. Like, geez, I have this open when I started this. Here it is. Gabby Ghoul's pictures. Yeah. So 4 or 5 days ago when I started making this video, she had 101,000 posts. So I started talking about making this video in the community, and she saw the petition on Outlands channel. I started to ask people like, have you played WoW Hardcore 5 days ago, right? And since then, she's scrubbed 3,000 posts. It's now 98,400. So about 3,000 posts have been scrubbed since I started making this video and letting it be known that, I'm making this video. I've already got everything I need. Scrub away. You just look guilty when you do that. That's exactly what happened to RXP with the WoW Hardcore. They scrubbed. Once it all got exposed, they scrubbed a bunch of stuff and just made it look them so guilty, right? Perceived transgressions, right? So it's called Enclosure of the Commons. That's what it is. And that's what this video is about. Spreading the word about Enclosure. It is a scam. It's a scam. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Uh, it's definitely her because she's like, yeah, I know the founder, Kargaz. Yeah. Yeah, Tommy Salami, Calamity, Zarant. I see some of those names on Outland. Calamity's one. Owen knows him. This is, this month, I think, 2023. To what do we owe the pleasure of your presence, Calamity? Oh, geez, something going on with hardcore? Guys, something wrong with RXP? You guys are bored or just want to play Outlands or something, right? Uh, yeah. And yeah, days of food posts. Oh my goodness, there's just food posts. I don't. It's almost like, I almost wonder if some of these Outlands players are controlled by, maybe there's 10 of them that are, or 20 of them, or 40 of them, or 50 of them that are controlled by multiple people, because it looks like what this is. And I'm not saying it is, but it just looks like to me like maybe she's like, while she's sleeping, it's still posting. Maybe it's still posting food pictures while she's sleeping, right? It's an inhuman amount of posts. Like, uh, from Gabby Ghouls. Oh, there she is. Let's see how many times that she says "hey," like it is "hey," 100,000 times. No, 296 times. Hey, hey, like, but only 300 times. So what are the other millions of posts that we got going on there? Tens of thousands of posts, hundreds of thousands of posts. It depends on, if you looked at her post history 5 days ago, or if you just looked at it now, right? Okay. What was she saying to Carmen? That's what I'm interested to see. Carmen came in, posted the petition about Macro Planet trying to cancel free shards, right? Shows all the screenshots, right? Shows all the things he said officially, right? Um, that he was trying to cancel free shards, which he always wanted to do, right? That's all I'm saying. He's gonna do it, right? Since then, he's gone back and he's changed some things, like he's changed some of the and some of the things that kind of showed that he was going to do some. He changed this currently allowed to advertise personal shards. They're always allowing it because the staff here aren't banning me. The staff aren't sagas aren't banning Carmen. And because they uh, don't want, they're just basically saying, hey, Macro, dude, we know you're going to try and cancel free shards. It doesn't work for us. That's why they're letting me post this video. Um, at the same time, like, I felt like these guys were disenfranchising Feluca players, and I hope that they decide not to do it, really. But, as it stands, it really did let me get harassed, and then came and told me that I'm the problem. Victim blame me, told me to leave, basically. If I was going to continue to be controversial, because it's causing problems for them, right? These guys are harassing them. That's the mod harass. They don't have a moderator here, so they're harassing the mods. And I get it, right? I get it. But at the same point in time, like, then you should just ban them. Do you think Rube's real, or is she just posting food pics all the time and it's a bot? And then, then she's gonna go and say, like, is if you don't ban him, I'm leaving, and all my 98,000 post history is gone too, and all the people who fell in love with my fucking food pictures that are fake, they're just not even the real food that they're eating. It's from Etsy, according to what's his name there. This food picture posted. These are from Pexels.com for the image credit. That looks like botness. It looks like they just kind of flicked on the switch of their autopilots, their food posting autopilots, and that's how they make themselves big names in the community, so that they can harass these mods better, right? And I'm your biggest fan. I'm gonna leave, right? Yeah, okay, Rube. Take a look. Abby. Oh yeah, let's take a look at what, because I haven't even looked back at this yet. This is all really fresh. I know that this Gabby Ghouls came and talked about the petition or something. This petition is legit. Definitely sign it. 100 signatures should be enough. 50 is a decent milestone. That would have helped get to 100 if we hit 50. I think it only ended up at 37 though. I stopped advertising it once Change made those redactions. It's the whole point of the petition was just to show that this isn't about the ban. There's public sentiment about these mods abusing the rules. We need new mods, right? And I accomplished that with 30. Just not about the ban. That's all it's about. Should probably run petitions by the devs before posting. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, I haven't seen this yet. Do you play official Carmen? Okay. Once upon a time. What you playing these days? Wants information about me. You should give Outlands try. Okay. I offered to help me on my Carmen account. I call her Carmen. It's me. I had to ban evade because I'm saying these moderators are corrupt. So I had to ban evade. Right. I also think it's interesting that these people with these food pictures that they just have so many posts in these accounts, and a lot of it's food pictures. Yeah. I just wonder, I'm wondering how legit that is. It makes me wonder how legit all the numbers are on Outlands, to be honest. How many of these players are actual players? How many of these people in the Discord are actual people? Right? How many of the new subscribers on our Ultima Online are real? When, it's been 4,800 for days. I think we're seeing the actual amount of subscribers now because I think they've ceased their bot activity since I started talking to the admins about all this stuff. And oh, you're about to learn how ugly. You're about to learn how ugly things can get because somebody tagged Owen when I posted the petition. Uh-oh. Yes, she knows how ugly it's gonna get because she's ugly. Remember, don't forget. Don't forget how ugly and toxic that this fucking person is, right? Alex Central is an avowed racist. He makes videos doxing people for perceived transgressions. That's all it is. It's just doxing. To say Gabby Ghouls, right? RXP Media staff. Yeah. Doxing, sweetheart, when you're a public fucking figure. And it's not even your real personal information or real information about your handle, right? It's like if you're Masana, right? Which somehow Macro Planet didn't catch this one, 24 points. Geez, there's even some things that says in these posts that this is funny. Luthieus, people need to vote with their dollars and make change happen. Take Luthieus's advice. And I understand, Outlands, Luthieus puts a lot of effort in. I'm not saying he doesn't. What I am saying is that it becomes a scam when you stop being able to deliver what you're supposed to be delivering, right? Which in this case is, Felucca rule set, right? And now they've got protected dungeons, which are Trammel rule set. 5 years into the game, after people have been donating and paying for this Felucca rule set, they've been totally disenfranchised. Luthia said in another post, 25 players is the most I've ever seen in that dungeon. Now I'm looking at their numbers and being like, that could be a lot. That's a big disenfranchisation of the Felucca players in your community. If some of your players aren't legit, like some of your Discord users don't seem to be, right? And Macro Planet, he changed it. This is why I think that they removed his name Macro Planet, because he changed this to not be speaking officially after, I've already shown that it is, right? So I think that's how he got that removed. But they won't tell me on change either. So obviously it looks like that could be their their excuse. And it's really just because these people were harassing them. I wouldn't be surprised. And this is why people see our community as toxic, right? Because anytime somebody says something outside of our community, the moderators get attacked of that community, right? And it's Macroplanet. It's people that are. I'm saying Macroplanet's allowing it to happen right here on the sub. He's allowing me to get attacked right here on the sub. He's attacking the game devs right here on the sub. JC the Builders here, what? They just posted something about. I think he's told Macro. He's like, they just posted that they're hiring, and Macro Planet's allowing, their company emails in this thread to be, released so that you'll harass them for this update that he. And then I'm looking at the numbers here too on this. Like 104 people. Ooh, there's a huge calling for Classic. In the bot community, it looks like, people have been tweaking these votes. Like he got as many upvotes as I got downvotes just for asking for moderators to give reasons for bans. Because, right? These people are taking everything out of this community that they can. I wonder what condition it's going to be in when all the bots shut off. I'm wondering, right? If people start voting with their dollars, like Luthia said to do, all the bots will be gone all of a sudden, and it'll be like Orcs and you leaving your server, which same thing, right? It looks really suspicious. But they could just suck. I can't tell. They could just be a large group of actual players that are worse than NPCs at the game. But I don't know that for sure. I didn't get to fight them too much before I got big bullet right into a ban off the field. Ridiculous. But it is. Okay, so Macroplanet made this petition, and then he had to change it because it's it's a code of conduct violation. He's attacking another community with the sub. You're not allowed to do that. So I still have yet to hear back from any subreddit admins or Reddit admins or anybody on that. They did give an update because of Macroplanet inciting that anger towards them and allowing people to post their company emails and harass them there for an update. Really just wanted to get that update, or else, right? It would look bad, and he's attacking them. Or maybe they just cancel the project. Like he mocks them because they don't have a lot of content in this update, but that's just because they had just said they were working on their back end, and they're not working on content because the back end is not content. And so, Macro's like, yeah, put it up against UO Outlands newsletter, right? No kidding. Would love to see what a UOO newsletter looks like next to this. And Owen's like, oh, how depressing, right? Like they're this is Outlands now attacking the devs of official and stuff, and Macroplanet basically cheering him on and helping and being like, yeah, critical of their rushed because of him announcement, right? So I didn't want to say it's a good update, right? Like he's harassing them, mocking him, and originally it was all positive as it's a moderator. He just violates the rules and then gets away with it, and sad. Here he is, profile right here. Classic WoW, Ultima Online, and he just made this new legacy sub while all this is going on. I'm talking about all this. I went to Reddit request a sub. You request a sub, and I requested the our Ultima Online sub that I become a moderator. I basically want a trial being a moderator on the sub. I want the other mods who have been protecting this enclosure and guilty of enclosure scams, and covering up negative feedback, and they're in on this. I've been trying to get rid of them because they're allowing people in our community to get harassed and they get hurts their lives. There's the potential for a lot of indirect damage because of the harm that can come from the harassment campaigns, like calling people neo-Nazis and having like 5 bots in the channel covering up everything you're saying with food, pictures, and harassing moderators and getting you banned because they're harassing the moderators, and making fun of mental illness, and ghosting. Macroplanet didn't even care at all about Vast Flame doing it. He didn't speak up. He didn't say anything. Yet he wants you to believe that he's the one that's going to save us from all the toxicity. It's not going to happen. So something needs to happen here. So I said, we're requesting our Ultima Online due to mod code of conduct violation. And it wants me to reply to an auto moderator comes out. It's a bot. It's asking me. I have to answer these questions. What are my plans for the sub? Please be specific. Please message the mods of the subreddit that you requested. Well, okay, that puts me in a situation where I'm dealing with people who have been abusing me blatantly. So what do you think is going to happen? More blatant abuse? Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. But here's the post I posted. My plan for the sub is to create clear, unbiased rules for people to follow and enforce those rules reasonably and fairly. I will warn community members of their rule violations extensively in order to ensure that the community loses as few members as possible. In order to create a more positive atmosphere on the sub, I will host fun contests in the community, such as trivia, which is really fun thing to do on Ultima Online due to its rich history and extensive lore. I've done so many trivia contests. I've done lots of events in tons of events on. I will foster a space that encourages diverse content discussions and supports the interests of all members of the community by ensuring fair and equal ability to advertise for all servers. Right? No more pinning shards that the mods play. No more removing negative feedback of shards that they play, etc. I will follow the moderator code of conduct at all times. And here is the link to the message that I sent subreddit mod. Now let's take a look back. Okay, this is what they said. Here's what I said. So I sent them. Here we go. I sent them. The current moderators have failed to make clear, unbiased rules for the community to follow, and it has led to too much drama over the year. The entire internet sees this community as toxic. This is to the subreddit mods who have been abusing me. I have to send this as part of that quest sub instructions, right? And I'm sharing this with you only because of the abuse that happened in there. I don't want it to be behind closed doors. I don't want to be behind closed doors with them. They send me PMs on Discord or Reddit. I don't answer them. I'm not going to talk to them behind closed doors. But I had to for this. Macroplanet, the newest moderator and only active one currently, he's the only one that's been posting anything officially at all, said that he had no intentions of setting clear rules for people to follow, and that he would be moderating purely on a subjective basis, whatever content he deemed harmful, which is a violation of the moderator code of conduct. In fact, complaining about the lack of clear rules to follow is what got me banned with no warning, as per Macroplanet publicly calling me a bully on the thread where I was banned for asking for better moderation. Macroplanet later admitted that the moderators were removing feedback of servers just because the admins were reporting it as negative, even when there was no rule violation. I made a petition to help demonstrate that this isn't personal due to the ban, but that there is a growing sentiment in the community that to have new mods who will establish clear rules and follow and enforce them evenly and fairly. Then I linked the petition. The petition also illuminates an apparent plan of Macroplanets to try and remove official servers from the subreddit, even though it's an official subreddit. It's an unofficial subreddit, because he plays and consistently promotes official servers. He implied that the sub is official, which is another mod code of conduct violation. He has said in the past that he wished subreddit mods would remove unofficial content, and has mentioned since becoming a mod that he seriously considered doing it. He has since changed the wording of the rules to state that unofficial content is only currently allowed. He went back and changed that now, even though it's always been allowed and the sub has been always unofficial. Also help sub, as I mentioned. The current moderators also created a new Discord channel for the community, which seems to be designed to handle unofficial content advertising. They said that they made the Discord channel, quote, just so we can extend the community outside of Reddit. So just because, basically. Which concerns me based on their inability to follow the mod code of conduct. It could be that their plan was to migrate unofficial server advertising or unofficial content advertising to personal Discord in order to monetize it without any interference by the admins. I believe Macroplanet saw the petition and decided to make its own petition the next day. He created a thread to promote his petition while speaking officially. The petition was intended to incite anger and rule violations in the community against the game developers in order to strong arm them into giving him a content update and potentially looking like a hero to counter my petition for the new mods. In doing so, he hijacked the community for personal reasons, wanted that update, and violated multiple rules in the moderator code of conduct by inciting rule violations against the developer, including the doxing of their company emails for express purposes. which Macro Planet allowed. Remember, this is the guy who was like, you can't say Macro Planet on the internet. You can't say that. And post screenshots of what I wrote officially, speaking as a public official in the community. I understand, he says, I understand that Macroplanet believes he somehow helped the community because Broadsword did end up releasing an announcement to calm the anger he was inciting and the harassment of their emails. But the truth is that their announcement simply wasn't ready because the developers were working on their back end instead of okay, the community needs people who will actually detoxify it and set clear rules. People will be warned, and this is me basically saying what I'll do now. Uh, People will be warned regardless of whether I like them or not in order to prevent the loss of members in our community. Personal attacks will be removed without needing to be reported, including personal attacks of critics of pay-to-win shards who use false advertising and abuse the press. I will stay in my lane, follow the mod code of conduct at all times, and honor this community's rich history by upholding the values of free open dialogue. I will remove the current moderator's personal Discord link from the community description, where they also ban users without violating rules and without warning. They did the same thing to me. They didn't give me any warning on their Discord this ban. And I'd like to do it, and I'd like to do fun Ultima Online trivia contests. That's something I've always done on different servers. I've created many fun events in the community for over a decade now, in fact. I hope to hear back soon. Okay, they wrote back. And they said, we appreciate following up. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's the latest stuff. All right. Thank you for reaching out to us to become a moderator. We appreciate your interest in helping keep the community safe. This is them replying to that now. And welcoming for all Ultima Online fans. We understand that you're disappointed about being banned, right? I never even mentioned it. I literally never mentioned being. We have taken this action because you repeatedly spammed misinformation after being warned multiple times. This behavior is not in line with our community guidelines. Okay. They said they warned me multiple times. That never happened. And I know that never happened. Again, we're talking about blatant, right? They're blatantly abusing me. That's how the manipulation works. They lie right into your face, right? And people do this in real life all the time, so it shouldn't be something that's crazy to anyone. If you would like to return to our community as a user, you can do so by contacting us and explaining how you plan to contribute positively to the community. We will consider your request. Okay, that's not why I sent them the message. I said specifically, that the current moderators have failed to make clear, unbiased rules. The violations, I pointed them all out. So they sidestepped talking about any of the violations. Right? They are not easing my concerns about the violations. At this time, we do not have any plans to open up enrollment for additional moderators. Thank you for your understanding. Okay, yeah, because it's like a handful of people, they want to control everything. But it goes against the mod code of conduct if they're going to try to cancel free card speech because it's spicy or anything like that. So now I replied. They said, over the course of several weeks, your actions displayed a consistent. Oh no, sorry, that's old. This will all get fixed when I edit this later. But you have repeatedly spammed misinformation. They said. I said nothing I've said is untrue. I've never spammed. Can you link any examples of this? And then they said, after being warned multiple times, I was like, there was no warning of any kind. If you could, please provide a link to any of the supposed warnings. Right? I want links to the misinformation, links to the spam, links to the, warnings that they're saying exist that I know don't. Of course, I'm disappointed about being banned without a rule violation and without warning. That's not why I'm trying to take the subreddit away from you, obviously. I'm taking away the moderation. I don't see why you're lying anyways. You do realize that the Reddit admins are going to be reading, right? And then they replied, this is the type of content that we'd love to see on the subreddit. you know, when I wrote, I'd like to do fun trivia contests on the request post, right? I wrote, what's that? I wrote it in, oh yeah, I had to write that in the original post. So in the original post, I wrote, as part of this message to the mods, I was supposed to write what I would do as a mod, right? And so I had written that I would, that I'd like to do fun trivia contests right here. Here's where it is, right? In my first message. They had already replied and said they gave me several warnings. I asked, where's the links for the. Oh, they replied and said, originally, their first reply was just to try and make it about me being banned, and that's all. And we understand you're being disappointed for me. That was their reply to all the rule violations that I pointed out. To say that it's just about the ban, right? And that they would unban me if I said anything about, you know, why I should be unbanned or what I would do, right? And I never replied to that. I just said, you repeat, like, I want all these links to all these things you just said. Uh, and of course, I'm disappointed about being banned, but I never said what I would do. And I just said, that's not why that's not why I sent this, right? And why are you lying? Because the Reddit admins are going to read this. That's all I said. And then they're like, they just ignored everything I wrote. And they're like, well, this is the type of content that we'd love to see. Well, you didn't see that originally when you read it. Like, and you're still just ignoring me. You were free to do any of this in the past. Why didn't you do it? Okay, I was building Siege Perilous. I'm already doing something to talk about. We are going to lift your ban because we believe in second chances. Okay, you still haven't linked the reason that you did it in the first place. Scrutinizing you for your code of conduct violation. You know, please remember to keep things on topic, though. I'm not even posting there, obviously. You know, then I wrote this big wall. It says, you know, I appreciate that my ban was lifted. However, you know, my ban isn't why I've been messaging you. You've chosen to abuse me in this very message by suggesting there were several warnings when I know there were none. You know, you said I posted misinformation when I have done no such thing. Nor did I have any chance to defend myself because you banned me. You banned me publicly, blah, blah, blah. If you can't provide the links, you've basically just abused me using the mod role again in this very message. It has to stop. My concern is that members of the community have been subjected to abuse the same way I have due to the policy of removing content for hearsay or misinformation. And then I posted this, you know, picture of from our report the bad moderator. Somebody got banned and they posted this. It was by Orbit Shift from Ultima Online. Regardless of the pitfalls of the upvote system, posts like this cannot be allowed to exist. There's too much hearsay involved with server drama that this subreddit takes on. We are going to simply remove the users and posts related to hearsay, right? So this has been going on for a long time. I'm just saying, you know, it has to stop. Even if these guys are just dumb and they're not involved in anything crooked or it's not Enclosure or anything like that. These guys need to go because they don't know what free speech is. They don't know what bias is. They don't get it. They don't even understand the concept apparently by any of the stuff that they're saying. They've got all these violations. They're pitting the servers, advertisements of servers they play over ones that they don't. And you know, it's like, you know, it makes it impossible for other shards to advertise, which I'm sure he loves because he hates free shards. He doesn't want them to advertise. One at a time, folks, until there's none left. He's trying to kill diversity. And either it's just because he's a player, admittedly, he's a player, admittedly, unofficial, or maybe something else, right? I want you guys to make up your own minds. You know, I'm just saying, however, when I became critical of Siege Perilous that, you know, he played, I felt like I was banned without warning and subsequently abused in this message for speaking out. You know, in light of what's taking place, I'm still asking you all to stand down. So I asked them all to stand down, like, get out of the mod role and whatever. And, you know, they're just like, we appreciate you following up on the matter. Or no, sorry, this is one. That was the one after that one. Thanks for reaching out and for your concern. As stated before, we are currently not looking to extend the mod team. Okay, you know, you're still not sending those links, still not, you know, backing up the things you said with the links, still not addressing the code of conduct violations. I would be leaving with nothing at all to show that you're going to actually uphold the code at all. I get nothing for all of this work and all of this, all of this, following all their protocol and everything. Like, if the admins are gonna let this guy keep going, like they're just allowing enclosure scams, basically. They have to decide whether or not they're gonna continue to allow these scams or not. Basically, that's as simple as it is. Because these guys have been reported lots, and nothing's ever happened to them. This is why they're acting like this. Nothing gonna happen to them. Just a reminder to you that the mods are volunteers. No, we try to keep this place as toxic free as possible. No, you do not. You are leading the toxicity. You are front running harassment against game devs, against your critics, and you're doing whatever you want. This is what he said right here. Look at this. You are more than welcome to create your own community and run it how you see fit. They think they are allowed to run our Ultima Online as they see fit because they believe it is their own community. That's what they said. This is it. This is your proof right here. I got abused to get this. So you are more than welcome to create your own community and run it how you see. Because this is their own community, and they're going to run it how they see fit, no matter what I say or anything at all. They're going to gaslight me by unbanning me and just totally ignore me. I just wrote, I am choosing to end this conversation here, and I'm noting the following facts derived from the conversation. There has been no admittance of any wrongdoing by the moderators despite the evidence provided of several violations. The moderators are not holding themselves accountable on their own, even for obvious mistakes, similar to how some businesses operate. Number 2, no links or evidence have been provided to the several, I think it's actually not the word several he used, multiple was the word. Multiple warnings the moderators mentioned, or the proven misinformation they accused me of spamming. And my ban being reversed was characterized as a second chance. This is just one example of how members in our community have been mistreated for a long time, which is why the internet largely views our community. 3, the R Ultima Online moderators are unwilling to step down and seem to see our community as their own, to run how they see fit, despite its many years of history before they came along. Yet, they are the ones who describe the community in the community description as a community of players. I am respectfully requesting that the Reddit admins bestow upon our community the true, verifiable change it requires by allowing me to trial moderation of our Ultima Online on my own, to ensure that the mod code of conduct is honored as this title deserves. Please feel free to contact me directly. They will be reading this message. So thank you for attention. Right, professional in a professional context. And that's not a problem for me, by the way. If these people are gaslighting me constantly and the mods aren't going to do anything about it, I'm going to tell them to fuck off, right? And, that's usually what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to get me to violate one single rule, and as soon as I do, they blow up the moderator with, look at how toxic he is. He finally defended himself, because you wouldn't, by the way. So that's their modus operandi right there. I replied, they replied to that one, and they said, we appreciate you following up on the matter. They're still trying to sound professional. They're not treating me like a human being. They are treating me like they're a business. As stated in the past, you were previously banned because of instances where you were spamming and derailing posts for weeks. They never said anything about derailing posts in the past. I never saw any warning of any kind. After reviewing your posts and closing comments related with you by warnings, what warnings of what post? The only post is locked. The only thing he said is publicly that I was banned. That's it. I never got a warning. We decided to ban you from the community. We do not ban off. So they gave me a warning and then just decided to ban me. It doesn't say we gave you warnings and then you did something and then we decided to ban you. It just says we gave you warnings and banned you. So there was no warning. A warning comes before the ban, right? It doesn't happen at the same time as the ban. We do not ban often. In fact, in the 11 years we've been online, there has only been 92 bans. And so they're showing me some numbers, right? They want me to trust their numbers or whatever. Yeah, and they want to point out the 10,800 people in the site. Which, I mean, if you've been watching the numbers go up, it's ridiculous. It's spotted or something. Like, it's just blown up by like 4,000 people in the last year or something. And then ever since I started making this video 5 days ago, it stopped. It's at 10,805 now. Like, usually in 2 days, it goes up by like I don't know. Like, I think Reddit admins should really audit that and take a. I mean, you know, it just stands to reason that they'd be trying to grow the sub. You know, if they're also going to be taking over and having new legacy, you know, they want. Now it's one of the top 5 sub for population on Reddit with 10,800 people. They're not real people, right? I don't think any of these people are real people. They're not treating me like they're real people. Talking to me like they're real businesses. Talking to me. If they want to stop, you know, Macro Planet, like his plan for the sub is to basically bot spam it with top 10 posts about Ultima and Mondays Mondays. You'll notice that he doesn't post those himself anymore. The bot's posting the Mondays now. The Mundane Mondays. I mean, it's a thing he's going to do every week, so right on. But you know, I think it's pretty obvious that bots are kind of keeping some of these communities active. They're faking activity, basically, in a lot of these communities. With we see Macro doing a little botting on here himself. He closed the sub because he wanted to continue to be able to bot, basically. And he didn't ask any of us if that was okay. He didn't ask the community at all because he thinks it's his. He thinks he owns it. He thinks it's his to run how he sees fit. He doesn't think he has to follow the mod code of conduct. And to be honest, he doesn't unless the Reddit admins take action, right? So, again, we're excited to see what you come up with. Look at they're just pouring it on that they're just not talking to me like a human being, and they're trolling this shit. That's what they're doing. And I just posted, I said, it's clear that you're refusing to acknowledge the list of mod code of conduct violations I've brought to your attention and are unwilling to debate what actions are actually necessary. Oh, they're coming at me here. They're like, we do believe in second chances. We believe people change or something. As in, everyone can change and do good. They're saying that I need to change, right? I'm bad, right? Right in here, it's speaking officially, they're fucking totally abusing their right. I said, you know, I brought to your attention all these code of conduct violations. You're unwilling to debate them or acknowledge. You're not willing to do anything at all to ease any of my concerns. I see no reason to continue this frankly demeaning conversation, but am still hopeful that you will remove yourselves from the positions in our community that you have continually abused. If you are trying to back up your previous statements about my personal reason for ban, adequate links and timelines to back up your statements about several or multiple warnings, as requested, would probably go a long way. As I remember it, there were absolutely no warnings prior to the permanent ban, despite the moderator claiming that the violations were occurring over a period of weeks. So you get that lots of times to say anything. They didn't do that. They just banned me. They're trying to pretend like they warned me. They know they didn't. Blatant, and it's manipulative, and it's abuse of the everything at all. It's concerning that the above link is to a public statement. This is the combating toxicity. Then this is the petition where he's attacked. He's attacking game. He's just harassing. I believe that mod harassment is the exact reason the broader community has long been viewed as toxic, right? Either the mods are harassing, and if they're not the mods, they're harassing the mods to do the harassing, right? So I can't, because we're all Nazis if we're criticizing, right? If we have negative feedback, you're a Nazi. Like, okay, criticism and Nazi, this is like extremes, right? That's why I'm saying it's extreme when someone is blatantly lying into your face. You watch out for these extremes. There's a pattern here of abuse. It's a manipulation thing. I can't think of a more damaging abuse of the moderator role than to attack the developers of the latest. I see that and I know they do this in other communities too, but I still don't agree with it. Like you're using the mod role to, and I don't know if they do it with the mod role. That could just be like this Macro was desperate to, clear his name after all this started to surface. Thanks to me, he made the petition the day after I made my petition, trying to be a hero, right? I see that you've chosen to remove the speaking officially tag from the post. It doesn't change what already happened, and I hope action is finally taken by administrators. So there you go. That's what we've been dealing with here. I'll show you something funny too, because we're talking about bots on Outlands. This is their solution to everything. The King's Fair. What is the King's Fair, you might ask? Hear ye, hear ye. Don't even read it. That's all I'm saying. This is a bot event all of these little events, you can do them 10 times per hour. And so basically this whole event, this contest of botting all these events, and if you do that, you will actually get the most currency. That's the way to win this event, is to bot. So, you know, it's a bot fest. And it's, I want to say, like I'm already saying, I know Luthie's puts a lot of effort into all this. You know, that doesn't matter. You're not delivering. You're disenfranchising your whole player base with your plot, your trammy house plottery, and you know, like the lottery. They're really doing that disenfranchising stuff, and I hate that. And there's this you know this bot event. You know, they're gonna say what, that there's no bots on Outlands, like hosted for bots, really. This is a video, another one of Alex Central's videos, or this is actually that same video. But in that video, he posts the WoW Hardcore, a staffer from WoW Hardcore, the classic WoW Hardcore. I can't remember her name, but she's basically she's going to detail their modus operandi.
You know, get more pie. Wanting to own essentially official hardcore servers, hardcore, you know, official server discords. You know, whether server is hardcore, like they want to be in control of that. You know, it's just getting a little excessive, and a little bit, for my taste, a little bit too centralized on like a handful of people that just want to be in charge of everything. It's not appropriate, I don't think. But you've got one person in charge of the Discord, and Discord has 35,000 people in it. What's there to be in charge of outside of running events? Events, advertising, subreddit, official server discords, line of communication with Blizzard, like you could, if you wanted to run a community cup right now, and you wanted, say, a competitor to Rested XP sponsor that event, it would not happen. And I think at the heart of it for me, it felt like the actual hardcore community, the people in the community, were being bypassed in favor of numbers and promotion that was focused on benefiting the benefactors of Rested XP rather than the community. That's my take on it.
The entire vanilla WoW community is
Okay, so basically what she's saying in this video, she's a hardcore staffer from Classic WoW Hardcore. And she basically is kind of spilling the beans a bit on her opinion. Is basically about it's a small handful of people that want to control the narrative about whether or not it's hardcore. Apparently Blizzard is tied to these Rested XP people who are really selling out the classic aspect of it, disenfranchising. And that's what she's saying, the players are really getting disenfranchised, so that all the attention can go to Rested XP so that they can promote themselves, make more money. And you know, it's a money-making machine, and the players are just a second thought, right? Whether their experience is a second thought. You know, Macro Planet, when he came at the game devs there, he's basically saying, like, they don't have to do anything for their sub people, the people that pay the subscriptions, because they're just going to keep paying the subs anyways to keep their stuff online. So as they're paying all this money, they don't really need an update because they're just going to keep paying anyways. And, you know, if, you know, and then, but they're working on New Legacy, you know, which is supposed to steal players from the FreeShard community and funnel them into, you know, if they haven't read New Legacy's website and found out already that you know, it's only going to be, it's going to wipe every year, and then your only opportunity is to play our official servers. Well, they might not have seen that because if they went to the subreddit and I never did anything, Macroplanet would have just canceled, FreeShard talk, and then any returning player is only going to see New Legacy, and eventually they're just going to all trickle into, Macroplanet's lap while he plays there, right? So there you go. So that's how that worked out. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else I haven't shown you yet that I want to show you? Those are the messages between us, and now it's not official anymore. And oh, here's New Legacy, right? This is what I'm saying, right? They actually do say it. Look at the picture here. It's the dragon, right? From the brothers. I just can't remember their name right now. Ultima Online poster. Breaking all the shards into nothing. Is this the free shards that it's destroying, right? Like, is the proof in the pudding on that one? I don't know. You're gonna have to decide for yourself, right? But basically says, it's not classic, and we're not really making classic, and it wipes every year, and your only chance is to play our shard. It says it right here, so it's not false advertising while they're doing it. But you can see that there's some other shady kind of stuff going on, and you have to wonder, what's all that about, right? Well, that's everything that I have to show you. Thanks for watching the video. Share it around. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this video into I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna edit this properly and do a good job with this. That's the rundown. That's basically what this video is about, and I'm going to make a short form version for any players that I see that come to that subreddit. If the admins won't give it to me, definitely advertise a bit. Explains all of what they can expect, that they will be harassed if they ask for better moderation. They might be attacked if they say it's not classic, if they go to play, and what these people are all about. And really, that you shouldn't be supporting them. Don't play on Outlands. Don't play on these shards. I'm not going to say necessarily not to play New Legacy. Play it if you want to. But just remember that they're wiping it every year, right? And, almost, I would say you might not want to support that if they're not being upfront enough about it. If their words start to be like encroaching on that this is supposed to be classic or anything like that, I don't think they're going to do that. So, but, I'm not going to necessarily give them props because of everything else that just happened. And, so remember, it is called Enclosure of the Commons. It's a scam.